What's up? This is the Over Easy Podcast Network, episode 3, Thunder and Lightning.
Yeah, it's
and
pretty
I'm Ernesto.
bad. And I'm Jason. It's pretty bad outside today.
Yeah. You might hear some of it, you might not. Hopefully, Thunder and Lightning has stopped.
We got a lot of interesting things going on today. We're going to talk a little bit of Corona because it's still in the news. We're going to talk some election and some other stuff for sure. But first, I'm going to throw it back to E because, we got to talk about our big giveaway, I guess you would say.
That's right. Okay, so go to our YouTube, like, subscribe, comment. Make sure you share this. Make sure you get everybody to subscribe. We have the biggest giveaway ever given away on the internet when we get to 1 billion, with a B, subscribers. 1 billion subscribers. Biggest giveaway is going to be filmed. It's going to be huge. It's going to be the best. It's going to be whatever Donald Trump would have said about that.
I thought we should have given, because I think 1 billion is a little bit too low. I thought 2 billion would have been good because 1 billion is nothing.
Yeah.
So you guys are kind of getting a break over here, I got to tell you.
Yeah, it shouldn't take that long.
at the end of the show, maybe, right?
Yeah.
Maybe we'll figure it out. But there's a lot of interesting things that are going on for me personally this week.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was a very interesting week. I had to go.
Scared.
Yeah, quite a scare. This is my first scare.
Mm-hmm.
Coronavirus test for me.
Yeah.
Yes, it was a very the test itself. First of all, I want to let everybody know I came back negative. So that was the best news. Thank you.
Hooray.
You get a reward for coming back negative.
You should get at least $100.
$100. You got it on me? I paid.
No,
you
not
back
for me.
Oh,
You should
okay.
get it
The government or what?
Yeah.
Government. All right. So, somebody get a hold of it.
Pain and suffering. How much mental anguish did you go through?
I mean, it was a little bit. It was
Exactly. They owe you money.
It was a little bit. But I ended up catching it from not catching it. I ended up being exposed from somebody who had it through. It was a friend, and luckily, I think he'll be okay. He went through a little rough spot. Ernesto knows him as well, so we wish him well in his recovery.
Yes.
He's a great guy. But I ended up finding out that he had tested positive, and a place that I worked at, I had to let them know, so I had to let them know, and I tried to go for those city tests where they have them at all these city sites.
Yeah.
But those were all closed by the time I was able to go, so I had to go to like an urgent care spot, and it was like an hour and a half wait. So they let you sit inside, right? So an hour and a half, and somebody's coughing around me, and I was like, this is not happening. I'm going to stand. I said, can you just call me in my car? I'm just standing in my car. First of all, this lady beside me coughing.
Right.
Thinking maybe she has the Rona.
Right.
All right.
Yeah.
So I was
the verdict is still out on her.
They do have chairs. Please don't sit here. Move to the next one. So we were socially distancing like 2 chairs or whatever.
Yeah.
But, there's only so much of coughing I could take. Everybody was wearing a mask. We live in a place that masks are required.
Yeah.
So I said, you know what? They said an hour and a half. I said, I'll be in my car right out front. You give me a call. So I waited, looked at the internet, started texting people, had nothing really to do.
Yeah.
Many people know, hey, I'm going to go for a test today, whatever. So nothing's really hitting me yet. So then I came in 20 minutes before my scheduled appointment, and they called me in early. So I went in there, and I'm not really thinking about it. Then the nurse comes in, checks my blood pressure. She leaves, she comes back. I see this long freaking, almost like a Q-tip type of thing. And I was like, wait a minute. Where's that? Up your nose, 10 seconds each nostril.
Right.
This thing is long. And I mean, I heard a little bit about it. People are afraid that it touches your brain. I did ask the nurse, does it hit your brain?
Yeah.
She was like, no, it doesn't hit your brain.
Yeah.
So I was just like, wow, that's going to go up my nose. So she says, well, lean forward, tilt your head back a little bit, and tell me when you're ready. Well, I was ready, but I wasn't ready.
Right.
You feel this thing go up your nose, and it's like a burning sensation. Doesn't hurt, very uncomfortable. My eyes are tearing, so she counts up to 10. So I was like, good. Then it goes to the other nostril. And then it's the next one up to 10. So your eyes tear a lot. Like I said, you get the burning sensation. You feel a little bit disoriented for like a minute. I don't think anybody really wants to have anything put up that far up your nose or whatever.
Right.
So that's that. So I'm good. Happy it's over with. Now it's like 2 to 3 days they tell me to wait. So the first day I'm good. Second day, start to get a little anxious.
Yeah.
And I know this test might be the day that I get it back, 2 or 3 days, so I'm on the second day. But now I start thinking, like, oh my God, I'm around my parents, my mom, my dad, and I'm like, wow, I don't wear a mask around them.
Yeah.
So if I have it, the chances that they have it are highly, highly likely. So now you're kind of like playing with yourself, like, man, what am I going to do? I'm not so worried about myself, but my mom and dad.
Right.
I mean, I did read some articles about your age. Now they're finding out your brain ages 10 years. Some of these brain things.
Crazy.
That is insane. So now I'm like, okay, I got myself a little freaked out over that, but I was good. But now I'm still worried about my parents.
Yeah.
Like, what did I give them? What is to come if I have this thing?
Right.
So finally, I was looking online because they gave me something to look for. It hasn't hit the results. So I said, you know what? I'm calling the place because now I'm like anxious. So I call up. And she's, what's your name? Gave her all my information. So I'm waiting. And I'm waiting. My heart is beeping, Ernesto. My heart is pounding. So I can feel my heart. I thought it was going to jump out and look at me and say, like, what's going on?
Right.
So she finally says, it came back negative. So my heart goes back into place. I actually had to wipe sweat off my forehead. I didn't think I was going to get this reaction. But it gets you, man. You're like, it's almost like, what the heck's going on?
Right.
So anyway, I am fine. Thank God. It's an experience I tell everybody to go through, to go get tested if you've been exposed. It's not the worst feeling in the world. I'm sure everybody's been through something bad. It doesn't hurt. It's just very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But it's a little a paranoid experience. You're a little paranoid during this time when you get closer because you're like, okay, I might have this thing now.
Yeah.
It's like, what's to come? You don't know the mystery because it's such a far out thing. I could either have no symptoms or I could be the worst. Now, the majority of everybody's going to be fine, right? But you get to that point. So it was definitely
you don't know which part of the
spectrum you're going to be. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Is it going to? If I have it, is it going to be nothing? Is it going to be medium? Is it going to be, God forbid, something bad?
Right.
But I was lucky. I was negative, but it was definitely an eye-opening experience. The wait. So I would tell everybody to go out there if you've been exposed. I mean, like I said, it's very crazy. So I mean,
yeah, definitely. If you've been exposed, and you're concerned, definitely go get checked. I mean, I was around some people that's been exposed as well. I haven't gotten checked yet, though. I should. I just haven't. I probably should.
Yeah, I've got a face guard on right now. I've got a helmet on. I've got everything around Ernesto, making sure just in case. But it's definitely like I said, definitely go get tested. And I think another responsibility I think everybody has is to tell whoever you've been around, let them know, because some people just don't say anything.
Yeah, I think that's the most important thing as far as like employers or anybody. You should, if you've been around somebody or you have an employee that had tested positive, then I think the responsibility for you is to let your employees know immediately, day of you finding out.
Yes.
Because it's that important as far as contact tracing and how fast it could spread.
Yeah, who are you giving it to exactly? Like, what do you know? You're going on to something. Like I said, this is where we want to get, this is the other thing Ernesto started touching on it. This thing about corporate America sucks when it comes to this disease.
Yes.
They just don't care. And you would think, and I've seen it from both sides. Like you could almost see a small business that's struggling to survive, trying to keep their doors open.
Right.
But I'm talking about first-hand experience with a big company.
Yeah.
And a restaurant that's doing great.
Yeah.
And they don't want to tell their employees, even if they don't want to let them know. Even somebody might have tested positive. I know there's HIPAA laws, so you can't give the name or whatever. But I think you could tell somebody, hey, somebody has, in fact, tested positive.
Right.
And I know firsthand knowledge that employers do not care in some instances.
Right.
They want to know. They want to keep everything quiet. No, I'm not going to say anything. You don't have to say their name.
Right, yeah. We're not asking you to do HIPAA violations, but I think we should know our environment
Exactly,
and then give you an opportunity to defend yourself.
This is leadership is failing at all levels. We're not just failing at the highest office.
Yeah,
everybody's failing.
Listen, I've been in some corporate situations where the people in the building aren't wearing their mask correctly, or they'll get to a point to where they just take it off. And I'm like, are you supposed to be doing that? Like, you're not allowed to do that, right? We're inside a building. And so it's like, it's just people, it doesn't matter how corporate it is or how private it is of a business. I think there's some lack of, not urgency, but lack of responsibility.
I mean, I think it comes down to leadership. I mean, like you said, where this happened, a lot of these things don't need to happen.
Right.
Like, just make...
Especially not to that magnitude.
Exactly. Like, you're looking at one person becoming super spreading event for everybody in there because the employer doesn't want to say anything.
Right.
So, regardless, like, yes, you're wearing your mask or whatever, but we know, some people don't follow the guidelines, and unfortunately, that's a lot.
Right.
And I've seen it living proof right up front. I mean, I'm sure like you just said, you saw it, but this is ridiculous. I mean, the selfishness on people, especially in corporate positions, is beyond you. Just another number in these positions, I feel, and it's kind of been dark to see that a little bit.
Right. It's either that, or they just are worried about operating so that the money can continue to flow. So they just kind of putting caution to the wind. Basically, they're like, whatever, or I'm going to ignore it or pretend like it's not happening, or allow myself to be blinded by the lack of by the need for urgency and the need for caution. Sometimes people will, because of money or something like that, they will allow themselves to be blinded, even if there's danger in it. You know what I mean? They'll allow it because it's not like they're not aware of it. It's almost like denial.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like they subconsciously go in denial because there's money over there.
Yeah, if I like to say, if it's your own family member, would you be acting the same way? Like what? Like this disease has shown us that, in a sense, and I hate to sound mushy, but you need to be stuck together and like tell everybody. Everybody is depending on everybody else to follow the guidelines.
Yeah.
And what you do after you leave work actually
does affect people.
Does affect everybody's life. When you come back to that job, and what have you done?
Yeah.
Well, what were you doing? Who were you hanging out with?
Yeah.
Like, so you're putting that person at risk. And I know it's tough, but I get that as an individual.
Imagine if they screened you every time you went to a new establishment and asked you those questions. I mean, they do they ask you about your symptoms, but imagine if they had to find a breakdown of your day the day before.
Oh, yeah.
Like you go to Walmart. Okay, Jason, before you go shop, sit down with me for about 5 minutes. Let me find out. Talk to me about what you did yesterday. Name all the people. Is that all the people that you can come up with?
Yeah,
sure
exactly.
You didn't sit down with
that's
anybody
like
else?
Totally controlling your life. I don't know if that might be civil liberties issue going on.
Just Walmart. I'm just going to Walmart.
But we're talking almost like an honor code, You got to take into a degree like, hey.
Well, how serious can you take it? You could get that extreme with it, and it probably would save lives.
Yeah.
But how extreme should you get? Because it is intrusive, it's invasive, it takes time, it does all of that stuff. But I'm a firm believer of life, or like, if there's a life on the line, I don't think that's that intrusive.
Agreed. I think all we got to do is just cut out some of the shenanigans everybody's doing. Like, you see people going to these, not just the rallies, but even walking outside.
Yeah.
Mask is off, waiting outside. People are just sitting together that don't even know each other. You're not even like family or anything. You're just standing there next to each other. It's weird. It's hard to explain. Like, you would think death. If somebody said, and I've heard this being explained, you could save 1,000 lives or one life by just wearing a mask.
Right.
Do you choose to do that?
Yeah, I definitely do it.
Like, do you choose to
If
do that?
it was just one life, I'd wear a mask.
Now multiply that, right?
Right.
They say 100,000 lives could be saved if we do it the right way. Like, this should not be even a discussion, really.
Right.
It should not even be. It should be, okay, I'm going to wear my mask.
Exactly.
And I hear people with civil liberties and this and that. I mean, this is crazy. Like, but really getting back to it, corporate America needs to step up and needs to better, I think, in a lot of aspects, guardrails around these things. And the employee is just not knowing about a lot of these things. Like, you're telling me if somebody tests positive, you cannot tell me.
Right.
You can't tell me that somebody is tested. I understand. Might only be 5 people, and you'll know who's not there. But still, I want to know. You're going to wait 7 days?
Yeah, you can't do that.
Like I want to know right away, because now I might go hang out with somebody who's immune compromised or whatever in any way has some kind of compromise. Like I just said, but
you could have been hanging out with them in the lunchroom the day before.
No, I'm just saying. But then you go back. You go back to your household or somebody that you hang out who has a disease or it's older or whatever, and now you're putting them in jeopardy because we can't say that somebody had tested. We're not talking about AIDS here. We're not talking about a disease that you can't spread. That doesn't spread. We're talking about something that spreads. It's highly contagious.
Right. And
highly contagious.
Like, if it was just a sore throat, no one would give a fuck. They would just go to work. They'd be like, if you had it, it's a strep throat. I mean, whatever. If it doesn't kill you, then fine. We wouldn't be tripping. But people are dying.
Yes, dying. And, like, this is, once again, I'm going to harp on this, is there's only 2 results people talk about. I don't get it or I die. Nobody talks about the long-term repercussions of this disease that we just don't understand.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
you said the brain for 10 years
people
age.
can't
I heard about the heart.
The heart. Yeah, I forgot what it's called. Myocarditis or something, I think it's called.
I don't know the name.
But this is running back on the Jacksonville Jaguars. It's been hospitalized twice with coronavirus. These are young, athletic, best-shaped athletes in the world.
I don't have a chance. I think it just depends on his chemical makeup. Like,
exactly, but we don't know what everybody's chemical makeup is.
Right, and if it doesn't mesh well with whatever's going on with that virus.
I might not die, which I don't want, but I might not be able to walk down the street without fucking taking like a heavy, like breathing in, out very heavily. And this is, like I said, this is crazy. This is crazy that there's either 2 sides, either live or die. That's it. We judge by who lives and who dies. We don't judge by what is the outcome for people who have had this disease and are going to probably have lifelong complications from this disease. So I think we need to do a better messaging as a country with that. Because maybe if somebody says, I won't die, but, hey, listen, I can't work out.
Right. I might not be able to breathe at the same capacity.
Yeah. I walk down the street and I'm having a hard time breathing.
Right. Or now I'm getting dementia.
Oh, yeah. I'm tired all the time.
60.
Yeah. I'm tired all the time.
Right.
I have all these symptoms. I had a stroke from it because people are having strokes from this thing. So I think as a country, they need to message better. So, I mean, this has all been an eye-opening experience. And like I said, I'm very corporate America, you guys need to do better. Yeah. Need to do a lot better.
I would even just say leaders.
Leaders
need to lead better.
Yes.
You need to be more responsible to your team and the people you're leading, and be more proactive and not reactive, if that's what it is. And make sure you're not putting money before your people.
Yep. I mean, death is, you're not coming back and you get sick. I mean, these are the things that we just need to, as a country, we need to understand this better. We need to stop being so selfish to one another, as far as we need to grasp that this is not going away anytime soon.
Right. No.
So as soon as we get used to wearing a mask and getting these things together, we'll get out of this, but this is the problem.
Right.
So, I mean, so that's our riff a little bit on coronavirus today. Sorry I had to get that on this chest, and I know it was deeply personal for me today, but definitely wanted to talk about that.
Yeah.
What else is going on for you?
I don't know. I would like to talk about, I would say that the Platinum Plan and and the Ice Cube plan.
So-
As we all know, those are two different things. Platinum Plan, and I think it's the contract with Black America. And so the Platinum Plan is Trump's version of what he thinks that he can do for Black people. The contract with Black America is the plan that Ice Cube and I believe other scholars like Dr. Claude Anderson and some other people,
There's Dr. Boyce Watkins. Yeah.
have had input in putting together. And so I think, for one, the confusion is that Ice Cube endorses Trump or something. And even with like Lil Wayne, I guess I'd like to talk about celebrities and their involvement in politics and how much credit we give them, in politics, or in any other arena that isn't their wheelhouse, but particularly politics. So, Ice Cube's contract with Black America, from my understanding, I don't know everything that's in it, but from my understanding is it's not done yet. It still needs some revision. It still needs some revising and some inputs. The latest thing I heard is that it didn't, excuse me, that women weren't satisfied with what's in it.
Yeah, I think I heard on one of the shows that they were like, "There's nothing in for Black women." I think it was. I don't want to misquote anything.
Right.
I'm just saying what I saw some of the quotes of it. So I mean, yeah.
But he has openly admitted that it's going to be revised, and he's still working on it with other people. So
maybe you shouldn't let a contract out if you're not ready to show it.
But it's not his contract. Let's also, you know what I mean? So as much as we can say Ice Cube don't put a contract out, we should say Dr. Boyce Watkins don't put a contract out. Don't work on a contract that's not ready to be, or you got to be able to work on it. But, don't let Ice Cube put it out. Tell Ice Cube, hey, we're not done with the contract yet.
I'm gonna read what Ice Cube said. He said he worked with Dr. Claude Anderson, Derek Hamilton, Robert Jones, Dr. Boyce Watkins, and also consulted with Andrew Yang. That was just so everybody gets clarification of who he's worked with.
Right.
So we just wanted to get that up. But
who started it? Because I don't believe he even started it.
I mean, I know he put it.
I think he just came into it and took the torch and ran with it.
Well, I mean, from my understanding, I don't know if
he might have started it.
He might have started. There's just some issues I think a lot of people, I guess, have with when he goes on here and he speaks about it.
Mm-hmm.
They feel like he doesn't have the answers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess he's the mouthpiece that goes on the shows. I know he was on with Andrew Cuomo. He was on with Roland Martin.
Mm-hmm.
There was that other thing that happened, I guess, with he was supposed to speak with Kamala Vice President, Senator Kamala Harris,
mm-hmm.
and I guess he didn't want to wait because there was other entertainers on there. And he said, "Why am I waiting?" So we left the phone call.
Right.
So there's a whole big thing going on. But getting back to your point of rappers, I guess any celebrity being a face of it, you feel like we shouldn't take them at their...
Yeah, and I get it. I guess they're using them as a catalyst for attention because they have famous attention. They have a fan base of people who will listen to them over Dr. Claude Anderson or Boyce Watkins. They have their own fan base, but I think a celebrity like a Kanye or a Lil Wayne, they have a bigger audience. So they try to use those people to get messages across, even though they're not on paper the best representative for the job.
I mean, Lil Wayne is...
So I get the concern, but I'm just, I hear them, but I still keep in the front of my mind that they aren't credible in what they're pushing. Ice Cube isn't credible in politics to me. So he can push a black agenda, and I'll listen, and I'll see what I can find in there that is good. But I'm not going to give it much weight on him being the saying the right thing or being the right person or being politically correct or having errors in what he is pushing. I assume he probably will.
Yeah.
You know, I assume Lil Wayne is,
Well, I don't
when it
think
comes
Lil
to
Wayne
politics, is probably not making the genius decisions that he would make in the booth when he's making the best music in the world. So, you know, when I hear them in another arena and they're commenting and it seems like people are like, I can't believe they would. I'm like, who cares? They just say, like, what I don't want them to do is not say anything. I believe you should be able to say whatever you want. Imagine you being a celebrity, right? And you're Jason, the celebrity, you're great at whatever it is. But then you also have an opinion on what's going on in the current event. Imagine you feeling like, man, I can't say this on my Twitter, or I can't say this because people are gonna think I'm crazy. It's almost like a freedom of speech thing.
No, I mean, I think you can say what you want, but I think you can say what you want, but you do, like anything else, like a regular person, there is backlash to everything that you say as far as what are you saying? Is it responsible what you're saying?
Right.
Do you have the facts what you're saying, you know?
Right.
The only problem with Ice Cube I have is too many times is that he's seems like he doesn't know his facts, what's in his own contract.
Mm-hmm.
And he's been proposing this. I'm not saying that he's the one that wrote it. He even says it himself. There's been a lot of scholars that have worked on it, I guess, and we've read off the names.
Right.
But to go on these shows and people ask you questions and I'll get back to you or that's not how you want to come off as, you know? And I mean, I look at Ice Cube as a smart guy. I mean, I don't look at him in the same breath as Kanye or Lil Wayne. I actually do respect a lot of things that he says and comes out with. But, you know, I think when you make that giant leap, if I'm going to come out here and be the face of a program like this, you don't have the answer. You're going to receive backlash.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, who you're dealing with, you're not saying that he did endorse Trump. He did not. So, but at the same time, pushing it towards Trump I don't know how you can. Trump hasn't delivered on anything,
right?
On any promises. So, like, to me, you're just becoming a pawn in what Trump's doing again. So, I mean, to think you're getting somewhere, I think it's foolish also on that plan. I mean, on that respect. I don't know what he's looking to get. I don't know what the end game for it is for Ice Cube. Why is he making these decisions to work with him? He says, well, they're the only one that they made changes. They've been doing more than what the Democrats have done, but I don't know what the end game is.
Right.
Like, what do you know? Like, you have to look at the track records, and I guess I understand both parties haven't been great to the black community. I get it. I mean, but one's been pretty fucking awful to the black community.
Well, I think from what I gather is his end game is to be involved with whatever party wins the election and to have the agenda on the table working with whatever party, making sure that it's going forward no matter who's there. I think that's the end game.
My thing is but what Trump has proven.
Well, he didn't endorse Trump.
No, but I'm just saying to push that, right? To push that to Trump. And now, it's not that he got endorsed. He's been leaning, not to endorse Trump. I don't want to say it once again. I'm not saying he endorsed Trump, but he's leaning towards, okay, the Republicans or the Trump administration has shown more willingness to work with me.
Well, that's all he's saying. He's not saying that.
But I don't know if he's using it as a leverage ploy to the Biden administration. I don't know. But to put yourself, to know what this guy stands for, Trump, and to know that he doesn't deliver on anything. He just hasn't, you know? He just does not deliver on promises.
Right.
So to know what you're setting yourself up, I believe.
But one thing that Q was saying, that whoever wins, I guess his job or our job or whatever the committee, whoever,
to push an agenda, to continue,
is to hold them accountable. Agreed.
And
so he can get in there and not do anything that he said in the platform.
But I mean, at the end of the day, but what is that?
Well, he's going to call them out on it, and he's going to hold them accountable, and he's going to.
But I get it. I get it. But what is that going to do for Trump? Really? Like, you hold him accountable.
Trump, but Trump ain't the last president.
I get it, but
So
for these
then
next
Trump-
4 years,
So then Trump might not do nothing the next 4 years, but then it's still going to be on the table, and he's going to meet the next president and try
that's
to push it
fine.
forward.
But
he has to start somewhere, and he has to try to do something.
agreed. But I would usually say you work with everybody, right? You have to push this agenda. It's an important agenda, 100%. But this guy, Trump, I mean, what you put your name to him, and you come up small with nothing there. And I'm not saying I'm sure Ice Cube has all the great intentions in the world, and he probably doesn't care. But that's going to be attached to you. Like you went with Trump.
So, I don't think he's going with him.
No, but you're working with the administration.
He's working with whoever.
No, but he's working with the administration.
Yeah,
so,
whoever it is.
I get it, but
it might not be Trump.
It might not be, but
then you would have to say that he's working.
But that's
with
not
Biden.
what I'm talking. I'm not talking about that. What I'm saying is Trump. Say that he goes with Trump.
Mm-hmm.
It's
not going with.
Well, he's working.
You have to say that Trump wins.
Okay, so he's working
with the winner.
Okay, but he's working with the Trump administration. We can say that he's going to be working with the Trump. Either administration wins.
Whoever
he's going to
wins.
Okay, so he's working with the Trump administration, right?
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
He met with them.
No, not now. I'm saying if Trump wins.
Oh, you're saying
if Trump wins. Hopefully
he
doesn't.
Gotcha.
But if Trump wins, you're going to work with the administration.
Right.
Okay. You coach. Now, granted, you're locked with that, right? You said, okay, we're going to work with them. We're good. Everything's there. Now we know Trump's priors, right? Nothing happens, right? So nothing in 4 years Trump has happened. I don't care what you say with Ice Cube. That looks bad that you went to work and you got played by Trump. Now I know everybody gets played, but it doesn't look good.
I mean, on your track record,
it doesn't look good.
Like
now, I'm not saying that he cares or not. You still got to push it. I'm sure he's still going to push it.
Do it.
And you say, well, we tried. That's it. But you aligned yourself with some, whether it's right or wrong. They're going to say you aligned yourself with Trump. And once again,
that'll be the narrative.
And that's all. And I'm not saying that should be right, but that's all that's going to be.
That'll be the narrative.
When you look at Ice Cube, it's going to be, well, he worked with Trump, picked Trump, whatever. They're going to change the narrative. We all do all the time.
Someone made this point. I don't know if it was Ebro or somebody. They were saying that where I heard this, but they were saying that Elijah Muhammad sat down and worked with KKK.
Oh yes, that was on a Politico. I've heard of this a while ago. It was an interesting article.
Are you saying that he's
well? They wanted to
with
create
the KKK.
They wanted to create. Well,
no, he had an agenda that he had to meet with his opposers,
the oppressors. The oppressors
to try to move forward with.
Yeah, but
he's
that was just
aligning with them.
They didn't.
But it was a necessary.
Well, they were just trying to create like separate states. They were trying to create a segregated states. If you read the whole article, you'll see the whole thing. It's very Malcolm X.
But he still had to sit down with the enemy.
I get it.
You're not aligning with them.
But I'm not saying that. I don't think he's aligning with him. I don't.
But I'm saying, but that's.
But the narrative is going to be that whether he likes it or if anybody agrees with it. We all change narratives. We can know what really is right, what's really wrong, what really happened, what really didn't happen.
That's the problem.
But we're gonna write the people are gonna write the narrative, and the narrative's gonna be, and we all know it. Ice Cube worked with President Trump and couldn't deliver.
Yeah, that's what they already started to try to spin that.
I mean, you see it on the things. Ice Cube backs President Trump, even though he's saying it, but. Everybody, you look on Twitter, I can't believe even though he's come out and said, I don't endorse anybody yet. I haven't endorsed anybody.
But that doesn't get clicks.
But it won't.
They won't take that part out.
But that's what it's going to be.
Right.
That's what it's going to be. It's going to be that. I mean, I'm not saying it's tricky because I wouldn't do it, but I get why he's doing it to a degree. Why he's like, I got to do what I got to do for my people. 100%. I get it. But I wouldn't put myself in with this guy because I know everything that guy ever touches. Sorry, Trump turns to shit.
Right.
So I already know you got to know going in that this is probably not going to work. Do I want to put myself? Do I want to put myself through the scrutiny? And like I said, Ice Cube thinks his own way, so he doesn't care.
Or you can maybe think of it as a strategic thing, right? So
I said maybe he's giving leverage for him to work with Biden if he gets in. Maybe he's trying to get more. I have no idea.
No, I mean strategic, and say it like this, okay? Say what you're saying is going to happen. he ends up working with Trump. He puts a stain on his name, and it's like Ice Cube is aligned with Trump, right? Maybe that's better, because what if it was a Dr. Boyce Watkins or Claude Anderson that had to push it through? We all agree that it has to get pushed through, whether it's Trump or anybody. I would rather a rapper get shit put on his name than the actual political Dr. Boy. You know what I mean? The actual scholars get shit put on their name.
That's twofold.
It's almost
right?
like getting the running back in there, letting him go through the line,
agree,
and then you get somebody else to run the ball.
Yeah, I get it, but I don't necessarily agree. You would almost expect a doctor or scholars to push.
They're the ones that should do it.
Yeah, exactly.
But if the shit's going to end up on their name and shit's going to look bad, then it's better to put somebody else. It's like, hey, you get in there and get the shit, and then I'll come through after the shit.
Yeah, but they'll be okay because they got that name scholar, right? So they know that sometimes they got to work with certain things and do. Ice Cube is a different base, that he deals with, right? So people always look at him. Man, Ice Cube sold us out. Ice Cube did this. So I think it's worse for him.
But at the end of the day, who cares if Ice Cube sells us out because Ice Cube's just a rapper.
I'm just saying we're talking about hypotheticals of everything.
Real smart black people don't sell.
No.
The ones who really matter.
Listen. Yes, but we're talking about
not
Ice Cube.
Matter with their lives. I mean, matter with their voices.
We're talking just about Ice Cube. Why is he putting himself through this? That's all we're talking about. But getting back to the bigger point, do you really care what a rapper thinks?
Right. Do we really need to know what Ja Rule thinks about this?
Yeah, I mean, some people might be. I mean, listen, we all have our self-interest. I'm not saying that we don't. Yeah. And some people look at their own self-interest,
But I will say this, and I said this before in another conversation. As much as I talk junk about rappers, I listen to Cardi B's opinions.
Yes, you did tell me that.
Because
I know she spoke to Bernie Sanders before. She had like a sit down with Bernie Sanders.
Yes, but I have done some research and know that she follows American history and politics. Like, she actually is into that.
Wow.
So I can listen to her critiques and opinions on that and actually follow where she's coming from. And it means something because she did research and she actually is saying something sane. But other people who's just sitting around and like, oh yeah, matter of fact, I think this is stupid. And I'm like, okay, so I get it. You have an opinion. But I'm not going to I'm not going to sit here and run around and be like, did you hear what this person said?
It's a great conversation. I think America is at a point of, all right, who endorses Trump? Who's not endorsing Trump? What are we doing with them if they endorse Trump that we look up to? So like, let's just say it right now. Who would you be shocked endorse Trump? Like somebody that you loved and be like, man.
I'd be shocked if Beyonce endorsed Trump.
We're not talking about
Queen Bee,
all right?
Whoa.
We're not talking about Queen Bee.
But I'd be like, hey, I didn't put much weight in her political choices anyway.
So, like, do we really, because I think with celebrities or something that we really mind, I think we feel something towards them that we not own, I don't want to say own them or whatever, but we have a part of them. They're with us, right? And celebrities, musicians, whatever. So we feel like, okay, whatever, Beyonce, whatever, whoever, Jay-Z. So I think everybody feels a little crushed when they see somebody like they really endorse somebody like Trump.
Yeah,
man,
feel like they
I knew them. I felt like I knew them. How did I not know that they...
It's almost like you thought because you love their music or whatever it is.
How could I be so off?
That their thought process was a part of yours.
Yeah, and
when they go against it, you're like, wait a minute, you're going against our thought process.
Yeah. It's like I'm so fucked up over this. I'm so fucked up over this.
He just keeps it as his house.
What are we doing? Yeah, like what are we doing? I don't understand. What the hell are we doing? Like, I thought we were on the same vibe. I listen to all your music. I hear what you say.
Right.
Like,
never
you're
spent
a movie
5
star.
seconds with them in a room talking, but you feel like...
Yeah, it's like I know you. I know. It's like almost like the Michael Jackson thing. Michael Jackson could have never touched any of those kids.
Right. It's like you have no idea.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm not saying I'm a huge Michael Jackson fan. I don't know if he did or he didn't. Right. I'm not making any judgments if he did. Right. But we believe that we know these people so much.
Right.
And we're like, man, So
That's why I don't give him a lot of credit for that stuff.
Now listen, I feel a little something way if I see somebody that I like endorse him. I just do.
Right.
I know I do,
Yeah,
and I'm like,
good
why am
feeling.
I feeling this way? Something that they do.
Right.
It's like a family member I see that likes Trump or whatever. I get upset, and
Right.
I feel like almost like, how come this person's endorsing? I didn't feel like I'm not a huge Lil Wayne fan, so it didn't do anything to me.
Right.
But
And I'm a huge Lil Wayne fan, so I can talk like about what the most of the music in my playlist is Lil Wayne.
Yeah.
I'm a huge, think he's the best rapper, Lil Wayne fan. And when I
not
saw
gonna
that
get
happen, that's
yeah.
debatable.
No, you're going. So
That's
when
debatable. But when I saw him do that, I was like, okay, so what? Like, I didn't say he was the best political pundit. I thought he was the best rapper. So if he talks about baking cookies, I bet you he probably sucks. He probably will give me a bad cookie recipe. He's Lil Wayne. He's a good rapper.
Yeah.
I don't expect for him.
I guess I feel
I'm not
different.
going to then go in and talk to my friends and say, can you believe Lil Wayne gave that cookie recipe? He has the audacity to think you should put that much sugar in there. I'm not. I think he's stupid, and I'm not listening to his music.
All right, so I'm not.
Like, what?
I'm not the biggest little. I'm not the biggest Lil Wayne fan. So, like I said, but I would like to think, because I've never looked at him for somebody like that, you know. So I don't think it would boggle my mind or whatever. I don't think I could stop listening to his music. But I gotta say, like when Kanye did what he did, I don't want to say I didn't stop. I stopped listening to his music. It was never like this big intent. I knew Kanye was always kind of out there and shit, but
Yeah.
I don't know if I stopped. I guess I stopped listening to his music or caring if he came out with new music and shit like that. Who cares about that shit now? Like, that's how I looked at him. Who cares? Fuck him. Fuck Kanye or whatever. So I'm trying. There's a psychology behind it, like we said, that makes you feel like you're close to these people or whatever, that you're not. Like, they should not ruin your day or anything. Okay, so that person said this, or that I thought they were on the right side. Like, you think that they should be voting or doing whatever you do.
Right.
Like, I listen to them.
I think you should do what you do.
Yeah, what I do. Like, why would you do that? Why would you do that? Like, because they don't care at the end of the day what you think. Like,
you don't know what they're doing.
Thinking. Like, just look. I don't know. A lot of people say they don't want to meet their heroes and stuff because it would ruin them. I'm pretty sure that's pretty correct. You know, like I can't see how that's not true. Like, so there's a lot of things that I look to with people that I'm like, wow, the person's amazing. You meet them and then you're feeling like, damn, I ruined everything for me.
Right.
That who would that do that for you? Who would like somebody you looked up to, whatever, sports hero, music hero, whatever, somebody that you really looked up to that would be like, man, if I found out so-and-so did this, it doesn't have to be voting for Trump.
Like, for me, as long as it's not illegal, you can do like...
See, I'm okay with the illegal shit.
You're like, as long as you keep it illegal, I'm fine.
As long as it's not nothing like disgusting or anything like that.
Right.
But
and I don't mean illegal like drug, like it just depends on what it is. I mean illegal like rape, like molestation,
beating the shit out of a woman or some shit,
beating women, illegal like that, or like
pedophilia for sure.
Right. But like, I'm even more lenient on financial crimes.
Yeah, I think.
But it's more
listen.
It's more like bodily harm crimes,
exactly,
or mentally harming crimes. But so I don't know who I would.
I guess the uproar for me was just like seeing. I'm trying to like the uproar for me was how much people are going after Lil Wayne, and not because. You know, I don't think anybody should take him seriously when it comes. I'm with Ernesto on that. Don't take him seriously when it comes to politics. And, you make your decision when you want to listen or not. I mean, but the Lil Wayne thing is, I've never given a damn about what he says. I mean, if you hear some of his quotes or whatever.
Oh, that's what I'm glad you brought that back up. When he was talking about a lot of people bring up
him not being, there's no race, Black Lives Matter, what is that?
Like, for one, if you listen to his music, he brings up examples of racism all the time. So he can't clearly believe that for real.
Do you think he plays to his audience? I mean,
I think
like
he's
both
trolling,
sides?
Or he might be upset that day in that interview, or he might, because he says stuff. There was a whole rant about, I think it was Georgia, George at the end of Georgia Bush, he did a song called Georgia, and it was about George Bush. And at the end of it, he was talking about how in his neighborhood, he can live right next to a guy who, molested somebody, but then next to him could be a black guy, and they would assume that he sold drugs to get into that neighborhood because he's a black guy. He makes a clear racial thing there, but then we will believe him when he comes out and interview like there's no racism. He is something wrong with that statement. He either doesn't believe it, he said it for some reason, but he doesn't.
I told you earlier, maybe he
doesn't honestly believe that.
Maybe he sees a new crowd for him, the MAGA
right,
crowd.
But he clearly doesn't believe there's no racism.
Yeah, I don't know how anybody can make that statement.
Because especially in when he talks about how he tried to kill himself and the cops stepped all over him looking for drugs.
I think he played around. I think was he playing around?
No, he tried to kill himself.
He was 12. He tried to kill himself.
Yeah, he tried to kill himself.
Yeah,
and he said he saw the cops step all over him looking for drugs and just looking for guns, and it was the white cop saved him. Now Lil Wayne made that story as a point to try to say I don't see racism. He was saying that because he's emotionally tied to that. The racism is in the story of the cops stepping over the black guy looking for drugs and everything.
Well,
the racism is in
it was
there.
Black guy. It was the black cops that stepped over him.
It was everybody because they assumed that he's a black guy. He must have drugs and money in here, and who cares about his life? That was the racism happening right in front of his face. The one cop that wasn't racist saved him. Doesn't mean that there's no racism. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like for people to just run with him saying there's no racism, that's just y'all not really paying attention to what's going on. Because he makes his own examples of racism through his music and through his stories.
Well, listen. This guy...
That's my point of why you can't just listen to rappers and when they say stuff and just run with it, because you don't know why they're saying that. They're just saying stuff.
I believe, yes. I think there's absolutely stuff to that. I just think that you can't, for me personally, I just don't take Lil Wayne seriously, so I really couldn't give what side he votes for, to be honest with you.
I don't care what side he votes for.
I
care when the Carter 6 come out, though. Let me know when that comes out. That's going to be...
Hasn't he been working on that for a while?
Yeah, he's rapping now.
I'm
listening to all this stuff. He's the best.
He's the best. Like I said, we'll wait that for the other time. We're not going to do that right now. Who the best is. But people got all crazy about 50, and that was the funniest one for me, because 50's a no troll.
He's trolling. Yeah, a lot of times they're trying to be relevant. They're trying to... If I know that as a celebrity, all I got to do is say, I believe in Donald Trump, and I'm going to probably make $12 million that year. Listen, if I'm a person that's about money, I don't think they should be. I think that's wrong that they would just use money to leverage. But who are they to be so honest to me in the culture? Like they don't have to take us into consideration and all of this stuff. We just wish they would.
Listen, I mean,
that's all it is.
Go on to 50's social media pages and see some of the things that he said. He is the biggest troll ever.
I know, yeah.
Him and Jim Jones had the longest standing thing where he would go to Jim Jones and start shit up.
I think they still do. I think the reason why he backed off of that is since Jim Jones has been in the 6ix9ine recordings and all of that, I think he kind of backed off with even playing with Jim Jones.
Oh.
Because he's like, Jimmy, it's not looking good. You got recorded, and you didn't go to jail. So what's going on, Jimmy?
Wait, what happened with that? Hold on, I didn't hear this.
It's okay. So you know the whole 6ix9ine thing. They were under investigation.
Yeah, I remember that.
Couple years, and so in court they played tapes of Jim Jones saying to Mel Murder and being basically the capo, the leader of 6ix9ine and all these other guys saying, yeah, you're going to have to violate him, super violate him, which means beat him up real bad or kill him. Jim Jones on tape saying, yeah, you're going to have to do this. Yeah, that's not good. You're going to have to do this. Talking. Boom, boom, boom. Played it in court. 6ix9ine points out who everybody on the phone is. Yes, that's Jim Jones. Everybody gets indicted and goes to jail. except for Jim Jones. Why isn't Jim Jones going to jail?
Somebody
this is a
had
RICO case. Anybody who's proven affiliated to it goes to jail for 15 years or more. Except for Jim Jones.
We go back to
who
self-interest.
clearly was identified on the tape and actually called the order for and he doesn't even get brought in. It's like, wait a minute. I've seen this on movies. I know what this is.
Self-interest.
It's like
we just spoke about that too. Self-interest. What is your self-interest? Now, listen, we don't know all the details, but
I don't know. But I know it. I know I've seen movies. Maybe they're just movies. But I don't know. So
he's always out here, though, Jim Jones.
I'm just saying that's why 50 was like, it's looking spooky out here for you, Jimmy. And that's probably why he's not playing with him anymore, like as much online. Trolling him and being like all.
I gotta go read up on this because that was mind blowing. I didn't know about all this. Jim Jones is always out there and stuff too. Like I follow him. He's actually a pretty good follower sometimes.
Yeah,
see some of his stuff.
I like some of his music.
But
it's kind of telling. It's like, why does everybody go to jail except for the guy who's the leader of all the guys who are in jail? Why doesn't he go to jail?
So I know we got off topic, but I needed to listen to that story. You tell me Jim Jones and 6ix9ine and that whole thing. I was like, wait a minute. But that's insane. But getting back to what we speaking about, I mean, how you're taking certain people way too seriously out here. The Lil Waynes and the 50s, and you take these guys and you think that their word is gospel.
Right.
What they say, and it's just whatever. I don't know why anybody would take gospel from Lil Wayne, what comes out of his mouth. And 50, once again, is a known troll that everybody knows. And for people to come out there and start getting at 50 over this, I'm like, that's what he wants. This is what he does for a living.
Now, to get back on the contract thing or the platinum plan, like if we want a representative that fits the bill, fits the look, fits the talk, fits the everything, get Obama or somebody. Get a scholar or somebody that says, hey, I'm presenting this with some respect, some background to back me up, know what I'm talking about, and actually make it look good. I don't know why they won't do that. They choose somebody who is going to be tough given their background or given their past. You know what I mean? It's like they may work with all the right people, but why is he the guy who goes forward with say, hey, this is what we came up with. We're going to send Ja Rule. We're going to send Ice Cube.
Yeah, and like I said, once again,
didn't Claude Anderson help write? Why isn't Claude Anderson taking this up into there?
Well, once again, you said
why are we sending Ice Cube?
I don't know. Like I said, that's where it gets suspicious for me. Is why, like you said, why are you sending him up there? I don't know what it's for. I have no idea why it's so important for him to be up there when he clearly doesn't have all the answers when he speaks to people.
If you want this thing to really work, like send the right person.
And you might be right. He might be doing stuff behind the scenes that they're doing with the Claude Andersons, the Dr. Boyce Watkins, that they're doing a lot of the conversations in there. Ice Cube's not doing it, but to put him out there and to make that your message might not be, once again, the greatest messaging for you. You might need somebody who knows the facts up and down, that when somebody challenges you on something, you're not hold on a second, we're going to update that. Or when he was on that show and about there's nothing in there for black women, he says, we'll have you guys write it. It's not a great answer.
Right, yeah. So it makes you look, it takes away your credibility that you didn't even have in the first place. Yeah. We gave you the free credibility. We're like, all right, you got something, here's some credibility. Let me hear you talk about it. Okay, now you're losing credibility that we gave you for free. Like, he didn't really earn the political credibility to bring forth a contract like that.
Yeah, and I think it's great.
Like he earned the input by the right people who should have brought it forward, but they didn't bring it forward.
And I think it's great. If you have a great plan, you can bring it forward and do great things with it. It's great. But if you're going to be somebody who's trotting it out there, know everything that's in there.
Yeah, you got to be well versed in it,
and that's the issue. We didn't want to get to the nuts and bolts and start reading off the contract to you, so we're not gonna do that. But if you have an opportunity, definitely go check it out. It's interesting. Compare it. I know Ernesto was comparing it to what the contract for Black America to the Platinum Plan or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, I did see some tweets out there. It's a lot of it has to do with loans. So you get into loans and stuff.
I think that's crazy.
Doesn't.
We should be getting the loans anyway. It shouldn't be like we're already not getting the loans at a fair rate. So to then, that sounds like to me we're saying, oh, we're going to start allowing some loans up to a certain. It sounds like you got a. It sounds like you have a cap at $500 billion. What about after that? Like, no, let's just start making the rate at which you're giving the loans out to minorities equal, and keep it that way.
Like
it can go to however
somebody said the
amount.
other day, one of the guys I listened to, Bomani Jones, and he was on a show, and he was like, other people have got reparations. The Indians have got reparations.
I would
the American Indians have got reparations.
Like, do that.
And the Japanese got reparations from America. But they really, like he said, they really don't want to give black folks reparations.
We're the only ones.
Like, so they don't want to give them at all.
They're like, okay, maybe not reparations, let's do some loans. It's like, wait, what? No.
I mean, the Jews got reparations from Germany after after the Holocaust. So I mean, we're taking a long time to get this thing going. I don't understand why people are against reparations.
Yeah, loans to black businesses and people. That should be happening anyway.
It's definitely, once again, shows a discrepancy in this country on race. Once again, systematic racism, oppression that we keep on having. In so many different forms. But
it's like that song. I always make fun of that song, I'll love you till I'm 70 or till you're 70. You ever heard that song? I'll love you till you're 70. I've heard it a lot. It plays at weddings a lot. But I'm always like, that's kind of fucked up. Well, what happens after 70? What if we're still together and you're like, babe, today's your birthday, you're 70, I'm out of here. Like I said 70 and I meant
we made a contract only for, we didn't say, it's like a lifetime is 70, right? So now we have to figure out what a lifetime is.
Right. It's like, wait a minute.
A lifetime doesn't cover lifetime is not a lifetime per se, A lifetime is 70. That's the average age is 70. You die, so that's new. That's it. All right, new life.
I'm out of here.
I'm out.
I was like, my dad said
all the contracts null and void. We're out. I don't pay you alimony, nothing. I'm out.
Yeah, it says here 70.
70, right? Average age, that would be crazy, right? If they say lifetime, so we need to start playing that rule. So if your average lifetime is only 70, I passed the average life expectancy. Yeah. I'm out. This is a new life for me. Yeah. I'm done. All right? Peace.
My dad's 77.
Who's leaving the house near you? You get out. I bought this thing right here.
Right. It says here 70. Remember the song I played at the wedding?
Yeah.
It said 70.
So
no, but that's how I feel about that contract of $500 billion. It's like, wait a minute, why is there a number? If it's not reparations, why is there a number on it?
Yeah, I don't know where they came up with that.
If it's in loans and stuff, then just allow us to get loans at the same rate, and it can go forever to trillion, whatever, to lifetime.
Like I said,
why is there up to when it gets to $500 billion? Then what? You're going to be like, see, we reached $500 billion. Now we're shutting this shit back down.
Yes. Yes. But, I mean, all this, like I said, we are going to continue to talk about in different times. I mean, but like I said, we this week, going on to something different, we got a very big week coming up. Tuesday is the election.
Yeah, crucial conversation. That's what I wanted to bring up about. The election. And what do you think's going to happen? Either way. Either way, it seems like something can happen.
I mean, I believe this time that Trump is going to lose. I'm not going to be as stupid to believe that it's impossible for him to win like the last time.
All right.
So I'm nervous. I'm not going to lie. The nerve factor's up. It's not corona. Well, it is almost like coronavirus nervous waiting to hear my test results. I think it's that. Right. I think it's that level at this point. I'm getting a little anxious. I'm reading the poll, watching the polls and stuff. Like, okay, this poll's down. His numbers aren't as good.
Right.
Biden, let me get in. I'm like sitting there biting my nails, worried about all this stuff. Like, I want Tuesday to be here already.
Right.
Like, it's like the Super Bowl this year. You know? I'm like debating whether I even want to go to work the next day, depending on what happens. Like I can't wait to be home to watch the election coverage, everything on Tuesday. I mean, every time I do this, but this is even more hyper ready, set, whatever.
Yeah.
So I don't know what Wednesday's going to bring. Because they say it might last a while before they can declare a winner.
Right.
But if they do, like, declare that winner, like, I don't know either way what the next day's going to bring. Like, are you worried about stuff happening the next day, or are you have enough food? People are like, go get your food.
Yeah, that was weird. I was like, wait, we can't go to Walmart.
No, I'm saying, are you going to be ready? Like, they don't know. Like, stuff might be going crazy.
I don't know. I wouldn't say that. I would say that I believe that he won't win the popularity vote.
Oh, no, he won't. That's not.
I don't know what the electoral college is going to do. They may just be like, so Trump's.
But what are you
president.
feeling? What do you feel like? What's the emotions going on right now?
Either way, I don't think it's going to be crazy. I don't think. First of all, I'll say this: I don't think there's going to be a civil war. I don't think there's going to be militias. I don't think people are going to just start shooting down the street.
I don't believe in that either.
So I'll start there. I believe that there may be some arguments that pop off and some protests, maybe.
But what are you feeling? What is your level at? Like, is there anxiety there? Is there something?
No, just interest. I'm just excited.
Once again, the Ernesto doesn't get that feeling of one way or the other.
Yeah, no, I'm excited because I want to see what's going to happen, but I don't have an anxious, a worry. I don't have a worry.
No worries.
No.
No worries.
No.
There's worries for me because I just don't. I mean, I voted, and I'm so happy I voted, and I'm happy everybody that's going out there to vote. You see the numbers are up and everything.
Yeah.
But man, if I can tell you, I'm 100% certain that this is going to be fair for Biden. I can't get there. I can't because I don't know what is going to happen. Like, I literally, every other race, we've always known what was going to happen. Like, okay, they're going to, besides, back when Bush and Gore, but we've never had this uneasiness of what the fuck is this guy going to do if he loses? What's going to be the outcome? I know he has to leave. If he loses, we know what's going to happen, but is it going to be fair if Biden loses? Is it going to be fair that Biden lost? Is it going to be, I honestly don't think it'll be, nothing will be fair if Biden loses at this point because I can't see, maybe there's a part of me that doesn't think that, I know this country is racist in a lot of ways, but I think there's enough people out there that's going to vote to say, maybe it's not for the reasons that you and me vote for, but just say this motherfucker is just an awful human being. We got to get him out.
Oh yeah, that's definitely going to show.
I don't know.
I think it's the electoral college that's going to override.
But I don't even know if that's going to be fair enough. Even if, I still think in my mind, if somehow Biden loses, what the fuck did they do to get Biden to lose?
They cheated.
Exactly. It's always been happening in different ways.
They just overrode it or cheated. Or
so, that's my biggest worry. I got to know. I don't know. If I've thought about stuff I'm going to say if they present, if they say President-elect Biden has won the election.
Joe Biden I'm going to run outside my house and scream. It's going to be
we are going to have liquor
I am
here.
Going to celebrate.
We are going to have liquor here next week. We did say if either way, I think most likely.
Yeah,
there might be more victorious shots if Biden wins. We're gonna. I got a big thing of. We got vodka. We're gonna go ahead and take shots or whatever. So next week, definitely join in for our podcast next week. But then, like
Trump
I said,
wins.
There's gonna be fireball. I don't know. We're gonna do the podcast still. Don't worry about that. But yeah, it's gonna be. It's gonna be. It is definitely a weird feeling that I'm having right now. That I just want this Tuesday can't get here soon enough.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited to see what the outcome is. I don't think there's gonna be any kind of malicious.
I don't know if there's going to be a winner at the same night, so I'm not 100% sure. It might take longer. They say it might take a couple of days because Pennsylvania and all these things. Like I said, I don't want to get into all what the states are going to be and stuff, what's the voting and all this, as far as what time do they close. We're not that show. We're not going to sit down here and do these things for you and stuff. But
what if there is a civil war?
What is it?
That's the crucial part of the conversation. What if Trump loses and shit pops off? I'm talking about lock all the doors. If you're going outside, you're hearing about random people, offing people.
Hey, listen, man. I haven't come
you can hear it outside.
I haven't come with a plan. I never had that in my book of what to do in a civil
movie
war.
Style.
Yeah, I've never had. Well, first of all,
would you?
First, listen. I don't know. I'll do what I got to do. I just want to have enough food for the first week.
Yeah, but what if that is the least of your concern because it's popping off? Like you're almost thinking like we gotta get out of this house and move to another like
Where?
safe location.
I don't know what the safe location is.
I don't know, but you hear it right outside. It's popping off. Like food for a week. We don't even know if we're gonna be here at night.
I think we'll definitely see that. I think more the outcome of that happening. I want to say if Trump wins.
Like your food is going to be the next house you raid.
Well, if Trump wins down here, right, it'll be a little different, right? Because this is more of a Democratic county, right? Democratic area that we live in. Mostly Democrats live in this county, right? So I don't think if Trump wins, I don't think it'll be worse. If Biden wins, I don't think it'll be bad down here. You know, I think other spots or whatever might be issues and stuff. The rural areas and stuff that they love Trump and stuff.
Yeah.
If Biden loses. Yeah, it might. Listen, it is so weird, once again, that this country, we literally vote, and not every one of our votes counts, because we go by the Electoral College.
Right.
So literally, Trump is going to lose by more this time, the Electoral College. He lost by 3 million the last time. Mm-hmm. He could lose by like 5-6 million.
Yeah.
Because we have this...
Is it going to matter?
Yeah, this prehistoric way of voting that doesn't even make any sense.
Right.
And you can tell the people it is what it is, but, like, man...
Our vote is just a suggestion.
Yeah,
It's not... it's like, oh, you got... Okay, thanks for... We'll consider that.
Insane.
Let us tell you who we think should be president.
Yeah.
That's the Electoral College.
So 6 million people don't count.
Yeah, no. We just wanted to hear what you guys had to say.
That's it. Think about it. Like, we are voting. People in California, overwhelmingly Democratic. People in New York, overwhelmingly Democratic.
Yeah.
Like, you all don't have, go vote, but you're going to win it regardless, that state, because half of you guys, something like that, and you're not going to count.
Yeah.
You're not going to count because they don't, the popular vote doesn't win.
No.
It's insane. How does our country... people got to look at us like, that's fucking insane.
Right.
You all vote, but it doesn't count.
Yeah.
Like, you could say, yes, fair and free elections, unbelievable, but this prehistoric way of voting, like, well, this one gets electoral college. No, motherfucker. No.
Count the votes, and at the end of it, it's over.
That's how I learned voting was.
Yeah. Not a suggestion.
You got to win, get the most people.
Yeah.
Like, we let Republicans off the hook.
Yeah. It's like yeah. I know he lost. Yeah. But he's president.
He's president.
Sorry. Yeah, I know. You said Hillary? Oh, 3
Think
million
about it. If
more
you go to math
Hillary?
class...
Yeah, we're just going to be Trump.
If you try to explain this in a math class...
Oh, yeah, it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make... Okay, he got more votes. That means more, right? Than 2 is more than 1, right?
Yeah.
That's what we always thought. But that doesn't work that way because... Yeah, he got more. Okay, I want to run my businesses like that. I want to run my business.
0 sense immediately. You don't have to.
I want to run my class like I want to run everything I do like that.
Yeah.
I don't want to work as many hours at work, but I want to get paid more so we can make that work. I want to just figure that out and everything so we can do that. So listen, I'm only going to work 10 hours at work, but I just want to get paid for a 40-hour work week.
Yeah.
Can we just work that out? Because I see it happening in other ways. So let's make it work. We're playing around with this stuff.
Right.
So let's do it like that. So that's what I'm doing. But anyway, we do appreciate you guys sticking with us today.
Do you want to? I don't know. Before we go, you want to talk about that Breonna Taylor thing real quick? How they?
Yes. So this is crazy. I'm sorry, guys. I did a premature empty, but this is disturbing.
Yeah.
The cop is
blown away by that.
This cop I'm not 100% sure. Is this one of the cops? One of these cops actually hit Breonna Taylor. This is one of the cops that actually shot Breonna Taylor, right? Mm. They're suing Breonna Taylor's boyfriend for mental distress and stuff like that, all types of distress.
Oh, I wasn't even talking about that. I was talking about the jurors.
Oh, no, you didn't hear. Oh, go. Did you hear about the cop, though?
I heard about him trying to sue the trying
boyfriend.
To say that, I got hit in the leg and it brought me so much mental anguish and all this stuff. And it's like, bro, you came up in their house unannounced and all this stuff. So what came out is, first of all, they originally got the warrant to the judge from the judge saying that they got a complaint from the post office that they were getting suspicious packages with their address on it. And that was what they used to get that warrant for that address. They went to the judge and said, hey, we get complaints from the post office. Post office ended up coming forward and said, we don't know what you're talking about. We never complained about anything like that. We don't know what you're talking about. So, first of all, the whole reason for getting it was a lie. Mm-hmm. Then the jurors came out and got interviewed and said that when they were deliberating on and doing, they were being the juror. I don't know what you call it. Deliberating is what it sounds like it's called.
Yeah.
But they didn't even have the option to bring charges on the cops. That wasn't even an option.
I didn't read this, but that is stunning that they would. Wow.
The attorney, the DA or whoever was speaking in front of everybody to the public said that the jurors came to the conclusion that they aren't going to bring charges. That's what they told us. But the jurors are saying, wait a minute, we weren't even given the option. The way y'all presented it, we were just choosing if we were going to charge the officer for shooting in the other person's house. We weren't bringing charges. Y'all didn't give us the option to bring charges for murder for Breonna Taylor. But they positioned it to the public as if they were deciding if they were going to do that, and now the jurors decided not to.
So the fix was in the whole time.
Yeah, they were never going to even.
I would love to say that I'm stunned, really, but I'm not.
Yeah, it's like, wow. I'm not stunned. I'm stunned that it's out in the open now.
Well, yeah, they opened up because they opened up the grand jury.
That the jurors,
yeah,
because normally you wouldn't hear about this because the jurors aren't allowed to talk.
So
the jurors came out and talked because they were outraged because before it was even over deliberating, they were outraged saying, we want to bring charges. Why aren't y'all letting us bring charges?
So can they prosecute them again? Can they prosecute it again? Well, I don't know if the Attorney General would do that because he's a big time, that Daniel Cameron, I think his name is. He's a big time Trump supporter. And he's made it, try to sweep this under the rug as much as possible.
Right. The other thing they said that they did is when they were positioning, when they do that, they're supposed to first tell the jurors about the law the laws that's in question, and then bring the case so that they can base it upon the law. Well, they brought all the information up for like 20-something hours, 18 hours, without bringing the law. They brought the law in afterwards. So the reason why they did it backwards is because after you get done hearing all of that information about what happened in the case, then they tell you what the law is. Now you got to go back and think about if they broke the law. You're supposed to hear the law first so that as you're hearing the story, you can point out when they're breaking the law. So they strategically did it all and misguided it and didn't do things in order to get the outcome that they wanted to get.
Well, I'll end it on this. The American justice system. That's it. That is it. And
can't trust it.
Like I said, that is crazy, but we'll continue to talk.
Trust it not enough times.
Yes.
I'm not saying that there aren't cases that are justified, but the error percentage is too high.
Yes. And we'll continue talking about stories like this. We'll make sure we want to keep people up to date if you haven't already.
And the racism in it is too high.
Yes, very much.
It's not just error. It's not like they just made a mistake.
So we'll continue to talk about cases like this, bring it up. We definitely want you guys to partake in this. Go ahead and give them the email address.
Over Easy Podcast Network at gmail.com.
Go ahead and give us all your thoughts on today's show, especially we want to talk about what do you think of would you take your celebrity, entertainer, whatever, seriously if they go ahead and speak on whatever, politics, an important issue? Do you look to them for guidance? Who would crush you to find out that they don't believe in the views, celebrity, whatever, entertainer, who doesn't share your views? Who would be that person for you, whether it be Beyonce for I don't think you didn't say that would kill you.
No, it would only be if she endorsed Trump.
Oh, okay. So we have these, like I said, we have these kinships with these celebrities that we really shouldn't have, really. Yeah. But we believe that they should like everything we do, and we should like everything they do. But yeah, I don't want don't be crushed about stuff like that, but go ahead and send us who you think that would be for you. But yeah, we had a great show today. I really appreciate you guys listening to us. We are going to have everything up soon with our social media pages.
Yes, we're just slacking.
Yeah, this week, like I said, it's COVID time, but next week we'll be back. Might be a little bit of longer show. We're going to go ahead and we'll have some drinks with you. Hopefully we'll be having celebratory drinks. You can have a drink with us through listening to us. But yeah, go ahead, have a great time. Enjoy your weekend. We'll speak to you next week on the reaction after election. I'm Jason.
Ernesto.
Later.
Peace.